truly believe in the magic.
Hey, Magic fans. Welcome to this week's episode of Penny for Your Thoughts, the podcast of the Orlando Magic UK. We will be joined very shortly by the one and only Bo Outlaw of the Orlando Magic. And before that, let's get to my friends. Mr. Grant, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I booked Orlando for October, so I'm happy with that. Before I go on, I've got to congratulate young Michael in the corner there. Michael and Connell for their team. Live VAR Pool beating my Cardiff City. So congratulations, mate. Good luck in the next round.
That pains you to say that, doesn't it?
Well, you know.
And did we get a bit of a ref rant on the WhatsApp group about it, G?
Yeah. It was an absolute farce. Gosh.
It's not
the officiating in the FA Cup. They haven't got a clue either.
Mikey, I've got to ask you.
Didn't even watch it.
Were you winding things up at all?
No, not at all. I wasn't poking for reaction one bit. I was just giving my honest opinion.
Don't believe you.
But somehow, no matter how much you bait G, he will never ever not bite. So. Ever. Well, and you knew it as well. You knew I was baiting you into it as well, and you just kept biting every time.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have thought Lauren Holtkamp and Mark Davis were refereeing that game. The way
they were as bad as them.
They were as bad.
I can't believe we managed to get a ref ranting before we've even done the introductions. That's brilliant.
Honestly. Never mind.
We've booked Orlando for October, so yeah, very happy camper here. So and I'm very excited to talk to Bo.
That's all three of us booked for the same sort of period, isn't it? So, Orlando, watch yourselves. We're coming for you.
And if you're in the UK and you're travelling out at the end of October, November, we'll all try and do a bit of a UK meetup there as well. So we've got some plans in the pipeline for what we're going to do when we get out there. So. Good times.
One of the things we're thinking of is organising a suite, aren't we, for a game for everybody, so as we can sit together and enjoy the game, enjoy at least one game all together. So that'd be quality. Right, let's get the affiliate plug out of the way. So please support today's episode and visit the official NBA Store Europe or Fanatics using our affiliate link in the descriptions on the podcast or directly from the website. Shop the latest NBA gear and Orlando Magic merchandise, including jerseys, shorts and T-shirts available with international delivery. Use the discount code MAGICUK10 at the checkout for 10% off your entire order, or use the discount code that's live on the website. But please be aware that there are some exclusions that may apply, and you can also find all the links on orlandoMagicUK.com. So let's get into it this week. Magic news.
And Paul, just one thing. Yeah. And you better snap at those Tom Brady jerseys now he's retired as well. Sorry, I just chuck that in there. Moving on.
Honestly, you baited G all weekend.
I'm not biting
on the WhatsApp group, and you're now already doing it. It's bad form, Mikey. Bad form.
Whilst we're on the NFL, before we move on, who are we backing, or who do we want to win the Super Bowl on Sunday?
We've got to go for Bengals, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%.
For Dan, we've got to be there for him. So we'll all be sporting something orange, no doubt. It's got to be done.
Just wear the
City
jersey,
it's got to be done for our friend Dan Savage. Yeah, exactly, man. So, Magic news. Rising Stars teams have been announced. Franz Wagner is on Team Rick Barry with Cade Cunningham, Dyson Daniels of the G League. What?
I just find that funny.
You're just great. I've done nothing wrong this time.
It's on Team Rick Barry. That just made me laugh. Sorry, it's just me being childish.
Well, if that's what Team usual. Barry, not everybody's going to know who Barry is. You're going to think, God, Team Barry out of EastEnders. So I've told you who Rick Barry is. Anyway, the rest of the players, now you've spoilt me flow as usual, is Cade Cunningham, Dyson Daniels of the G League, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okora, Alperin Sengun. Why do I get them? And Jashawn Tate with Franz Wagner. And Cole and Jalen are together on Team Worthy. That's James Worthy. So as Mikey doesn't have to crack up again. He's with from the G League, Marjan Beauchamp, Josh Kiddey, Jalen Green, Herbert Jones, and Tyrese Maxey. Thoughts on them teams? G, do you like it?
Mikey's still laughing at your Beauchamp.
What else is it?
No, I thought it was very, very well.
I thought that's correct.
I've
got another one in a bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, you notice I've got it phonetically spelt out. Yeah, and I'm still going to make a dick of myself.
No, they're two very good teams, aren't they?
They are.
Good teams.
Who do you fancy?
I got to stick with Cole and Jalen just because there's two of them. It's just a shame that the three aren't on one team. So either of those teams to win, I'm happy. Doesn't really matter, to be honest, as long as they put on a good showing. Cole's obviously going to be Cole, and hopefully, entertain the media, and that might get a bit more, limelight. So, I'm just hoping for some points up. I don't really care who wins, to be honest, as long as it's one of those two.
And then we have the dunk contest. The rest of the contestants have been announced. So we've got Jalen Green from the Houston Rockets, Juan Toscano Anderson from Golden State. Go on, Mikey. You know you're desperate to have a little smirk.
It's fun.
It does happen occasionally. And then Obi Toppin from New York. So, Mikey, what's your thoughts on Cole's competition?
I think it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup this year. I can't really say we only see the Warriors play twice a year. So Toscano Anderson, I've not really seen him throw a ball down that much. But
that was one that surprised me, I've got to be honest.
Yeah. But look, Cole's got hops. I think he could,
as he said last night.
Yeah, he could quietly surprise one or two people. Obi Toppin and Jalen Green, though, are freaks athletically. I would have to say they would probably be favourites for it. But I think Jalen Green might come out on top of this one. But it's hard to call. Again, depends what Cole. We're all shouting for Cole to win it, but we'll see what he dials up on All-Star Weekend.
And then injury-wise, we have Markel, J.I., Moore, MCW, and RJ all still out. No real changes to note, but RJ has tweeted out that he'll be back soon. We had Mo Wagner missing last night with a rib contusion, and Jalen Suggs had to withdraw in the first quarter with what's described as Achilles soreness. So let's have a quick talk about last week's games. We lost at home 135 to 115 to the Memphis Grizzlies. Effectively, little defensive play from the Magic. Yarmaram guys are a walking highlight machine, finished with 33 points. Cole led the Magic with 22, showed a bit of improvement in his efficiency on Saturday. Then, turn away now, close your ears. We lost 116 to 83 to the G's favourite green team, Boston Celtics. Their defence stifled us, didn't it, all night? We just couldn't get in any sort of rhythm. From the field, we shot less than 36% and just over 19% with the three ball. Only two Magic players made double digits, Jalen Suggs with 17 and Wendell Carter Jr. with 14. Should we move on from that one?
Yep.
And then last night on the road, start of a West Coast trip, 113 to 95 victory, where we had a season high 34 assists as we played some fantastic ball movement against the somewhat depleted Portland Trailblazers, who are in a bit of turmoil with all the trades that's going on. Cole had 23 points, 7 rebounds and 9 assists. Franz Wagner, 13, 9 and 7. Gary Harris, all 5 shots made from 3-point range. Wendell Carter Jr., great defence on Nurkic. He also scored 18 points, as did Chuma. And Mo Bamba weighed in with 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. I know we weren't going to talk at length about these things, but anything that stood out for either of you last night in that performance?
So what you just said. Ball movement, shooting the three. They were just playing with more confidence, I found. Obviously, Portland were depleted. It was nice to actually come up against an opponent that was depleted. I know my magic moments that we'd win going against my prediction for the week, but just looking at them after that trade, other than Simons and Nurkic, they haven't really got much. And I don't know, this Portland rebuild, I think that's going to be a bit of a slow burner for them. But going back to us, no, it was a lot better, a lot more confident. Couldn't fault it, really. That's what you want to see every night. And, you pay the money to go and see them play, and you can walk out the arena happy that, you've had that effort and that execution last night.
Any sympathy for Chauncey, Mikey, or Mr. Billy Ups, as I called him the other day when we were talking?
No, because he must have, Mr. Billy Ups, he must have, head coaches work with the front office, don't they? So he must have had some idea that it was a possibility the Blazers might shake things up. I'm not sure they're going to go full rebuild. I mean, it does feel like the writing's on the wall and it's just a matter of time before Lillard gets moved or dealt or whatever at this point. But because they're saying they want to retool around him and Anthony Simons, who's emerged and playing very well for them. But no, why? Look, we've been the worst team in the league this season. Why should we feel sorry for anybody else?
Liking the answer, mate. Liking the answer. I'm good with that. So let's get Bo on. We are now joined by a 14-year NBA veteran. Played 914 career NBA games with the LA Clippers, Orlando Magic, Memphis, and the Phoenix Suns, including 22 career playoff games. Had 360 games with the Orlando Magic from 97 to 2001, 2005 to 2007, ranking 3rd in all-time block shots and 7th in rebounds. Magic Community Ambassador and Bally Sports pre- and post-game colour analysis. It's the one and only Bo Outlaw. Bo, thank you for joining us. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Mate, we are fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. I think people don't remember how much you actually played for this team and what you brought to them. You member of the Heart and Hustle team from 99 to 2000, 41 games. Whisker coming within the playoffs, and still on record by Doc Rivers as being one of the favourite teams he's ever coached. What's favourite memories of that time, the Heart and Hustle team?
It's different because every time we talk to one of the guys, our memory comes up and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was a lot of good memories because expectations for everyone else was totally different than what we expected out of ourselves. Because when you're out there going through the practices and doing what we do, we knew what we were capable of, but everyone else looking at what they saw on paper, just the names. They didn't just look at the heart of the people playing the game.
Yeah. So what was the outstanding moment for you? What one particular thing as you look back on?
During that season?
Yeah, during that season, man.
Oh, man. I don't know. It's several different situations. Guys getting awards, guys getting recognized, and just winning games when you weren't supposed to win. Like we had a homestand. I think we probably had 5 or 7 game homestand. But it was probably the best teams in the league. The San Antonio Spurs, Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks. Like we had a tough home And we ended up coming out of that with more wins than losses. And they were like, what? And it was just, when we played every game, it was just, we played so hard and played for each other. And but we had so much fun with each other. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
There was one moment in that season, Bo, I just did a bit of a deep dive. You got a triple-double without missing a shot, which was a record that stood until recent. I think Russell Westbrook might have managed to do it as well. So that must have been some feat, especially against the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, and I guess in the moment when you're playing, you don't really recognize what you're doing. You just try and make shots. That's what we do as basketball players. We're trying to make all the shots. And when it happened, I was like, man, I just knew it was a triple-double. I didn't even know I didn't miss a shot until I think I just found that out maybe a couple of years ago, but I just was playing the game trying to get a win.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. As Paul's mentioned, we've all managed to meet you at some point, and you've been very kind with your time. In fact, I just wanted to share a story with you. When we met you in 2015, my wife and I, you kindly signed my wife's jersey, which is hanging behind me. And you were like, wow, it's an Outlaw jersey. And we were like, yeah, that was great. And we asked for a selfie. And I said, oh, I've got this new phone. And he's like, no, don't worry. Leave it with me. And you grabbed the phone and you showed me this button on the side that I didn't know existed. And it was the one for the selfie. And my wife and I call it the Bo button now. So
that's quality.
Yeah, that's classic.
That's a great story,
man.
G.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, as Paul's mentioned, the Heart and Hustle team, obviously, media pundits said, they'd be lucky to win 10 games, and you come out and win 41. So how much did that media criticism drive you and Daryl and the boys?
When we first heard it, I think we all got a little chip on our shoulder, but I think we just played so hard and played for each other. Like when we were in practice, the practices were harder than the games. We went at each other's neck, throat, however you want to say it. We went at each other like we didn't even like each other. But once we got off the court in the locker room, we were talking about, man, why you hit me like that? Hey, you wasn't on my team today. And it was never personal. And yeah, you play that hard. Some guys going to get in their feelings. And yeah, we had scuffs and pushes and tussles. Yeah, we did that. But when it came down to it, we had each other's back, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your teammates that year. Obviously, there's a lot of our listeners are probably new to the Magic. I was lucky to follow the team since '97, so you've very much been part of my Orlando Magic jersey. The likes of Pat Garrity, John Amici, Tariq Abdul-Wahad, Chris Gatling. Tell us about playing with those guys and what you learned from them.
This guy, you named some names right there. So here we go. Chris Gatling was probably one of our older guys, and he wasn't really old, but we knew when we gave him the ball, it was going to be a one-on-one shot, and it was a good chance he was going to score, and he was going to go left.
Yeah.
He was going to go left. John Amici was our guy he was our main guy to get us a bucket in the post. We needed a bucket. John Amici was our guy. Pat Garrity was a guy on the perimeter. Couldn't leave him because he's going to knock down every three he got, and he was always ready to shoot it. Tariq Abdul-Wahad, that's a name. That's a blast from the past right there. That guy did all the little stuff, didn't complain, just played the game the way it was supposed to be played. I miss when we traded him. I was like, man, because that guy was a good defender, unselfish guy, and just wanted to win. And that's what we needed on team, and that's why we were the way we were, because a lot of us, if you look at it, we were kind of the rejects. No one really wanted us. A lot of guys got traded and moved around. And we just like, hey, we here for each other. Let's get it. Monty Williams, Daryl, Chucky, Ben, myself. Like you name some of those guys. We weren't started till we left those teams. Like we started here, yeah, but a couple of guys got championship, guys got on other teams and was real successful. And that team had more character than any team I played with, because the guys we were. I'm just gonna keep saying we were for each other. We did not have dislikes. We all. I was talking to who was I talking to? Ben Wallace the other day, and we were talking about how we can have a conversation on the bus, and it's one conversation. The whole bus is talking about the same thing. So
yeah,
that's how tight we were.
I mean, and that team. You look back at the Orlando Magic, its history in its 30 whatever years it is. You've obviously got the 95 championship finals team, the 2009 finals team, but the other team is that heart and hustle team, and that's down to you guys. So it's a very fond memory for us.
Yes, thank you. Now, when people put us in that category, I think what it is, people respect what we did.
Yeah.
What did we do? We went out and played hard every game, slid under tables, flew over tables, knocked popcorn down, spilled drinks, got up and played again and didn't care because we were just trying to win. And if you were on the other team, we were coming at you. We didn't care who you were.
Yeah. And that's why you like paying money to see that all left out on the floor. Yeah. So we appreciate it, Bo.
Thank you guys for the support. And that's, I'm not going to say we were playing for you guys, but we were playing the right way. Go out there, respect the game, play the game, respect your opponent, play hard, and do your job. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Bo, you were well known to be a very athletic forward, centre, tenacious defender, play with lots of energy. Is there a player in today's game who you see... I can't even speak. I'm doing a poll now. Who you see plays a similar way? Who plays a similar way? How you?
I knew what you were trying to say.
So you know what I was trying to say.
That's how long it took.
It's cool.
The game is different. So to compare, you can say this guy. The guy's a lot more skilled than I was. I was like say more athletic. My skill set was I could dribble the ball pretty good. I could pass and make plays. Shooting wasn't my strong point, but I can make sure I can make a shot when needed. So the guys that play, if you say a guy today who's comparable to me, it's going to be hard because the game is offensive now. Back then it was more defensive. So I could get in the game and play because of my defensive awareness and skills. Now I would have to be an offensive player to be able to play. So it's a little different time. So that comparison be kind of hard because back then defense was cool. Like it was cool to play defense back then. If you played defense, you were the man. So I was like, yeah.
Well,
someone just tried to call me. I'm like, what?
Don't worry, mate. It's not a problem, Bo. It's not a problem. I had an experience where I got to sit courtside for one game. It was the Detroit Pistons game in November 2018. And to my absolute pleasure, I got to sit with Nick and yourself and listen to you guys talking about the players on the court, your analysis. So that brings me to something I want to ask you about. Because he plays in that same sort of position as yourself, what do you see about Wendell Carter Jr.'s game?
I'm a fan. He plays the game the right way. He's better. His skill set is better than mine. He can shoot the ball all the way to the three-point line. I might have been a better post scorer, but I'm gonna take him. He's a little bit bigger than me. I'm a little bit more athletic than him. So it's pros and cons to both of the guys, but I'm a fan because he plays defense and he plays hard. He goes out there and give it his all. And he's playing the game the right way.
Yeah. Is there a particular area that you feel he could really improve his game on?
If you look at him, he's improved so far since he got it every year.
Yes,
in
hugely. All
areas, not just one area. His shooting the ball, his range is extended. His defense has gotten a lot better. It was good and it's still good. He's handling the ball a little bit more. So if you look at his overall game, he's gotten better since he's been here. And the good thing is he's coachable. He has no problem listening.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's important as well with a young player to be able to listen to what the coach has got to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Bo, what's been your biggest takeaway from this season so far? And what do you think about this young group that Weltman and Hammond have put together so far?
Yeah, they're doing that. With the hand that dealt, they're doing it well. They're playing. They're battling through injuries. Guys are available, guys not available. You get healthy, then you're not healthy. So with what's going on, they're doing the best, but you can look at the improvement. That's what it's about. Are we getting better?
Yeah.
Are we doing the things to improve? That's what they're doing.
Yeah. We had your good friend Daryl Armstrong on the podcast back in September, Bo. Tell us about your relationship. It's always, whenever we see you together, you're having a laugh, you're having a joke. There just seems to be a lot of fun there. And are there any standout moments or stories of being teammates with Daryl that you could share with us?
I got a lot of stories, but I don't know if I can share them.
Carry on.
We can always put parental advisory on.
If I tell those stories, he got to be on the phone with me because when we start talking about stories, we know what's about. It's that guy's different. He's a special guy, man. When I first met him, we started playing. It was a connection. He played the way I played. So he was controlling the guard area. I was controlling the forward area. So we just put that together and we just tried to control the defensive side of the court. And it just worked out like I can't explain it. It's when we see each other, it's like we've been seeing each other for the last 6 months and we just hold conversation like we ain't missed a beat. He's a really good dude. I know his family and his kids, and it's just, that's my guy. He's a good dude.
Were you pleased for him when he got the induction to the Hall of Fame?
100%. I was there and I interviewed him, had a speech, and it was a good moment because it was deserving because he put in work. Like, he was a guy that played in several different leagues, didn't get the opportunities. When he got the opportunity, he took full advantage of it. And as you say, from nothing to where he is today is an unbelievable story, and that's what it's about. And like I tell my kids, every guy in the league pretty much has a story. But that story he wrote is a pretty good one.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you remember about the summer of 2000? You were obviously part of the Magic at that point anyway, and the Magic went out and signed T-Mac, Grant Hill, and there's lots of rumours and stories that they nearly convinced Tim Duncan as well. But what do you think the Magic could have done? Obviously, Grant Hill injuries sort of held that team back a lot. But what do you think was the ceiling for that team had he stayed healthy?
That Tim Duncan rumor was pretty close to accurate.
Yeah.
Well, when we signed Grant and Tracy, I kind of knew I was out. I knew that because I was a 3 at the time. So I'm like, hey, one of them guys is gonna play the 3, and I'm not better than them. So I knew my time it was kind of short. But if those guys, if he was healthy, the sky was the limit because those guys can flat out play. And woulda, coulda, shoulda, if we'll never know. But if he was healthy, then you'd have the 2 guys here that everybody would wanted to play with. So you'd have anybody here you wanted to fill in the spot that was needed. Mm. Tim Duncan was a San Antonio guy. He really wasn't going away. He entertained it, but you could have got any other player you wanted to with them 2 guys because they were superstars. To this day, if you notice, they're both in the Hall of Fame for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we've also got a question from one of our friends who does the Orlando Magic UK with us, Gary Craggs. And he seems to recall reading in Slam magazine that in pre-draft workouts, players had to defend and had to be defended and compete with you. Is that true?
Yes, I was in the gym from time to time. I was a gym rat, so we'll play some and get around. I remember we was in there playing a couple of times, and I talked to him after, give him some advice, and it was good to be in there. But
so he was
pretty good.
Carry on, Bo. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it was pretty good because during the workouts we were working out, so they would come in and say, "Hey, y'all want to work? Okay," and we'll just hop in and do some drills. and play.
No.
Get hit.
He did ask also. So, is there a particular rookie that you came off the court and thought, "Damn, that guy's good"? And is there somebody that you looked at and thought was really good and got away from the team as well?
Nah, it was more about you was trying to help the guys. It wasn't like, oh, he can help us. You was just trying to give them up every opportunity, give them some advice, show them the ropes, the do's and don'ts, and let them go for there. I think the guy we drafted, Matt Harper, he was a real tough dude. So I was like, yeah, that's going to be a good pick. You pick him up, you got one that's going to come to battle every night, and that's what they end up doing.
I find that really interesting because we don't see or hear anything about the draft workouts. So is that what it is then? Somebody just comes in and it's given a chance to play against you guys and they get a bit of advice and the team gets to have a look, or is there anything further to it?
Well, that is different now. The times are different. So they get workouts, they got drills they run them through and shots and this and that, and they might play with some of the guys, but it's totally different now. Than back then. Things changed a little bit.
More scientific, perhaps.
Yes. And a little scientific, a little different.
Now, obviously, you are community ambassador with the team. The history that you've got with community work within Orlando and the South Florida community is incredible. You were a 3-time winner of the Family Award, weren't you, with the team?
How you know all this stuff?
It's called the media report.
That is pretty impressive.
We had George Yolante on the other week, and he said, I'm the only guy that actually reads that because every time somebody comes on, I've kind of done a little bit of research, so we've got something to talk about that is perhaps something different. But the community work that you and Nick do, how important is that to you and the satisfaction that you get from seeing the work that you do? What is it?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. You can go and score a bucket, win a game, and people come sign an autograph, and that's cool. That's great. But the look on a kid's face when you go out there and make a difference in their lives, that's unbelievable. Because the things you're doing for them, you're trying to set them up so you can remember those things for a lifetime. Trying to give them some skills and opportunities to be in a better position than they're in. And we're in a better position, so you're just trying to give them advice and resources to be better than who they came there when they saw you.
The team do some amazing stuff with the community. It's phenomenal what's done, and we say this every time that we've become involved in a couple of bits. We did the half marathon, the 5K, wasn't it, that we did? Yeah. We did that, and what that team does for the community is something that every sports team should look at and aspire to. I think it's just incredible, and you must be so proud to be part of that.
I'm so proud of you. You gotta understand, the communities that you play in support you so much. If we can just turn around and support them as much as they support us, it'll be a great thing. We try to make sure that we're out there and let them know that we appreciate that they support us, so we're gonna just try to support them as well.
Yeah. One other thing I want to know: game day, when you're not doing the Bally Sports stuff, what's the game day involved for you? Because you do spend quite a bit of time in the arena meeting fans and the like. What's involved for you?
Yeah, I'll get there probably about 5 something. Walk around, talk to my coworkers, and then we'll discuss what we're gonna do, what events we got during the course of the game. And then the rest of the time I'm there, I'm either talking to some of the players or some of the former players I played with, and then some fans get in there and just trying to give an experience for people coming there for the first time or just been there regular and want to say, hey, and that's what it's about, man. Like I tell a lot of people, I'd rather you talk to me than talk about me. So if you want to talk to me, not a problem.
Because you are incredibly generous with your time when people I think we've all come across you in the Amway at some point. Yeah. It was certainly the first place I met you. And you, Nick, just the guys go out of the way to make you welcome. And that's something very special as a fan that you don't always get. I I can't say enough that it makes you feel part of the team, and that's something special.
No, I just do it because you can say it's the right thing to do, but why wouldn't I speak to you? Like, it's just, why? Like, you're there, I'm there. What's up? How you doing? If you see me, speak to me. I have no problem with it. I like people. And if you're a little too tipsy, then I'm like, all right, let me walk over here and you just do what you're doing over
there. Gee, it's amazing that Bo's ever spoken to you.
Yeah.
Gee,
Bo,
go for it.
Yeah, you played for the Magic softball team with a very close friend of mine, Lewis Hageman. And
I'm like, how do you know all this?
Fans, Bo, we're fans. And I was speaking to Lewis the other day, and he said, ask Bo, why did he wear shades or, when he played basketball? Because you don't wear glasses now, do you?
No, not now, but I'm in the process. I'm going to get some. Like,
So just how did the shades come about?
Early in my career, probably my second year, I was playing for the Clippers, and I got poked in this eye. I think one game, then the next game, I got poked in this eye, and then I think the next day in practice, I got poked in this eye. So I think 3 days in a row getting poked, I was like, yeah, we got to figure something out. I was like, my eyes were like bloodshot. Like, you get the blood clot in your eyes, are red.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So I'm like, I couldn't take it. So there came the goggles in there, and they stayed with me because, like I tell people, if you replace my teeth, I still can eat. Replace my eye, I cannot see. So I said, I'd rather not wear a mouthpiece, but I wear some goggles. So I was like, I picked which one to wear. I get this chip, you can replace it up.
Yeah, and it was a good look, in fairness, Bo. I mean, you see Wendell Carter at the moment; he gets his eyewear knocked off literally every night, doesn't he? So there's a lot of it goes about.
Yes, because you're in the paint, you're going to get hit in the face a couple times. And I wasn't the biggest of guys down there going, so I was 6'8", some guys 7 foot. So elbows are right around your face there, so it's common to get hit in the face.
Obviously, over the weekend, we saw 2 really subpar performances from the team, and picked themselves up last night and went out, played Portland. Portland were, should we say, understaffed, but it doesn't take away from what Orlando produced. What does it take as a team to look at 2 really poor performances and go, right, we need to sort this out? How do you begin to address and pull yourselves from the floor?
Yeah, that's when the coaching staff comes in. They probably have their meetings, but they come back to the guys and just, you're going to talk to them and say, hey, guys, we're better than we've been playing. That's the bottom line, because the performance we had, we're better than that. So we're going to go out there and play Magic basketball, our style, do what we do, and the rest take care of itself. But you got to go out there every night and play the game and respect the game, because every night you go to the gym, there's another team trying to beat you. Sometimes they're going to better you, sometimes they're going to be worse than you. But you can lose both of those games, or you can win both of those games. So you got to go out there, respect the game, and play the game every day.
That's cool. And I know we're approaching the trade deadline, and whether the Magic make any moves or not. But how good do you feel this team could be that we have the core of at the moment?
Yeah, if we had everybody, it's a whole different situation, and everyone's saying a lot of different things. But that's the league. Guys get hurt and guys come in, so you got to try to deal with injuries and manage them the best you can. It's part of the game. It's a part that no one really want to happen, but it happens. So you just got to try to make do with what it is, and they're doing the best they can do right now playing, because every time you go to the gym, like I said, you got other professionals doing their job as well.
Yeah. And will we see your youngster wearing Magic Blue at some point, do you think?
I don't know. I have no control. If they play basketball, that's on them. I'm going to support them. But if not, I'm going to support that too. So that's on them. I just go and be in the crowd.
We want the legacy to continue, man. We want the legacy.
They in control of it. I can't. Like, the old saying, I can take the horse to the water, but I cannot make him drink the water.
Absolutely.
I can take you there.
Yeah. Well, if you've got somebody to take you to the water for the Magic, then yay, lead on, Bo. That's all good. But mate, thank you so much for coming on. We do genuinely appreciate you giving your time to us. Thank you so much, and have a great one, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, you guys. I appreciate it. Like I say, I'm sorry it took a little bit longer than we thought, but
hey, it's all good. We are just so happy to have you join us, and thank you so much.
Thanks for the invite. It's my pleasure. Like, I enjoyed it, so thank y'all so much, and many successes. If y'all got some other stuff later on, just hit me back up and we can do it again.
Okay, well, I thoroughly enjoyed having Bo on. It was good. So let's get into the trade deadline stuff. There are an absolute shed load of suggested trades knocking around for the Magic. Trade deadline is coming up tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time. And I think we'll take a quick chat around some of the proposed ones. So is there anything that you guys actually like amongst these that are out online? So the first one is Atlanta Hawks receive Gary Harris. We get back Danilo Gallinari. I can't even believe I fell over that one. Gallinari, 2023 second round pick. What's your thoughts on that one, Mikey? Anything you like there?
Anything that returns a pick, whether it's a couple of seconds or a first, I think you've got to listen. But I'm not quite sure first round picks are really what we need. Sorry, I'm not sure.
Second.
Yes, yeah, I'm not sure second round picks are what we need at the moment. Gallinari's good. I just don't think there's nothing else there really that, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Cap space isn't something that I think we need just now. I think we're still waiting another year before we can really capitalize on that. And that's going to make a difference, because I feel like next year is more a case of shaking things out to see who we truly want to build around next year when we see Isaac and Fultz return. I mean, Gallinari's only got $5 million, as you put Paul in here, that is guaranteed out of his $21 million contract. But I just don't see the point in eating cap space like that. I feel like we could probably get something back that's more meaningful.
I'm a pass on that one personally.
G, pass on it.
Yeah, I pass on that. We don't take our second round picks anyway. And I think Gary Harris, and I've been quite vocal about this in the last couple of days, I think he's a valuable commodity in that he's a good veteran. If he wants to stay, then I'd pay for him to stay. And worst case, you can either do a sign and trade if he was to go to a different team, and you might get an asset from them, a bit like what we did when we acquired Grant Hill from the Detroit Pistons back in 2001. Or we keep him around for next season. If we've got all this cap space, why can't we just give him $20 million just to bring him back for a season, just so he brings everyone along a bit more? We've got the cap space. We're not going to make a big free agent splash. So, no, I'd keep him around myself.
Yeah. So we're all passing on that one. This next one, I'm going to say it before we even start. I'm passing on this one. Very, very hard pass. Cleveland Cavaliers receive Robin Lopez. And in return, we get point guard Kevin Pangas and centre Ed Davis and their 2026 second round pick. G, anything at all for you in that one?
Well, Davis ain't a bad player. He was pretty good when he was at Portland, crashing the offensive boards. And at the moment, we're severely lacking cleaning the glass. A second round pick. It's a second round pick, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're just storing them up like they're going out of fashion. Rolo's an expiry. Was Ed Davis an expiring contract, or do you know?
He didn't say. I didn't actually look either.
Didn't say. Yeah.
No, he didn't. I
don't know. I could take or leave that, but I like Robin Lopez on the team, and he wants to use the whole of his Disney pass, so I'd probably pass.
Right, I'm a pass on that. Mikey, you pass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you interested?
No, I don't think so. I think we're looking at needing and I talked about like with this in our Twitter group a little bit, and we were talking about this morning, but worrying about a backup centre is really what we need to be worrying about right now. We can pick up one in the off season. There's going to be plenty of serviceable big men that we can pick up if Lopez doesn't come back. I want to see Lopez come back next year because he's the sort of vet that you want around this group. And he's worked well and he's professional when he comes in, when he does play, and he has 6 or 7 games where he sits on the sideline, gets the technical for sitting in the same spot. He always does. But no, keep Rolo around. There's nothing there really that.
Mate, I want to see more of him dunking the biscuit and sipping the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What a celebration that is. That's great. Okay, I'm interested in this next one a little bit. So Detroit, they receive Mo Bamba. We get back the guard forward Hamidou Diallo, their 2022 second round pick that comes via the Brooklyn Nets, and their 2024 second round pick that comes via the Sacramento Kings. What's your thoughts on that one, Mikey?
I think this is probably along the sort of lines that a deal, if we get for Bamba, is probably as much as we're going to get. I don't see us. Teams aren't going to give a first round pick up for Bamba. Diallo is still 23, 24. 23.
23.
And he's still got lots of room to grow. I'm not a big fan of Diallo, but again, young player on a rookie deal, and you're getting 2 second round picks. I think that's as much as we can really probably expect for Bamba, but I would probably want somebody other than Diallo. But who that is on the Pistons, I don't know. But again, it's a similar sort of deal that I think we can expect.
Okay. G, what do you see with that one? Anything that's positive for you there?
It's a pass from me. If we get Diallo, we've got a lot of players who play that position. You've got RJ Hampton coming back. Whilst we get the second round picks, it's always useful to have. But we're going to have a big hole then in the middle. Obviously, we're going to be relying then on Wendell, Rolo, and Mo Wagner. So, not for me. I like Bamba, although I've been sort of a little bit vocal this week about trading him.
Say, do I have to produce the WhatsApp group where you agree you'd trade him for a bag of sugar at the minute?
Not sugar, me. I'm diabetic.
All right, bag of sweetener.
You wanted him out the club earlier in the week.
Sweetener, maybe sweetener. Yeah, Canderel. Other sweeteners are available.
Bit of Splendor.
I'm sort of on the fence with that one a little bit more because at least we're getting something back for Mo rather than him walking. If we're not gonna offer him a contract. My biggest issue with it is that Diallo isn't a outside shooter. He's adding more of what we already have in that he's an athletic, get to the basket type of guy. But he does produce some decent averages. He's 10.8 points at the moment for the season. So I'm sort of on the fence with that one. I wouldn't be over upset, but I think it's not the greatest of deals. Mikey, would you pass or?
I probably would. I'd probably see what teams offer him in free agency and then go from there. Because again, I think you can do a sign and trade for Bamba as well if he's restricted, possibly. But I don't think you want to get to that point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what teams are going to give up to get Bamba if they can offer him something in the summer.
Cool. Okay, cool. This next one then. We'll be moving Terrence Ross to the Memphis Grizzlies. And in return, we would receive guard forward Jarrett Culver, shooting guard John Concha, their 2022 first round pick, which is top 20 protected. But we are talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, so are they going to be that high up? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that one? G, anything you like?
I think it's inevitable that Terrence Ross has played his last game in Orlando last night in Portland. And I was actually watching him when he checked out the last time, and I was thinking that's probably the last time we see him. If not, great, but that's not too bad a package. You get, Jarrett Culver, as you said, he comes highly sort of regarded, probably not been given as much of an opportunity as maybe we expected, and you get that first round pick, even though it's top 20 protected. It just gives the front office a bit more flexibility. So I would probably pull the trigger on that one if it was the only one. Yeah.
It's not the only one that we're going to talk about here. We've got one more that we're going to talk about.
I prefer the other one.
The next one that's coming up. Next one's coming up.
Let Mikey go first.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the Grizzlies one? Are you
I think it's something that you've got to. I think any deal where you're getting a young player who's still on a rookie deal, he's a free agent this summer, but you've got the ability, you can re-sign him, and you're getting a first round pick. All right, top 20 protected, but a late first round pick out of it.
Yeah,
I think that's all you can get for Terence Ross at this point, and he's not playing well at the moment. If he was playing like Gary Harris is at the moment, then you might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of teams. But I just don't see it. And what's Ross now? 31. He's going to be 32 next year. Teams aren't going to give up a huge amount for him. And the Grizzlies are in a win now mode. I mean, they're third in the West. Yep. They're going to be a real contender come the postseason. So somebody like T. Ross might win them one or two postseason games with his ability to come off the bench and throw up flames. So, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Culver, but somebody like that is what we should be hoping for in return, I think.
Okay, so this is the one that you seem to be liking a little bit, G. The Toronto Raptors received Terence Ross and Robin Lopez, and the Magic received back centre Precious Achiuwa and point guard Goran Dragic with their 2022 first round pick, which is lottery protected. So, guys, what's your thoughts on that one?
Go on, Mikey, you go first.
Go on.
Same again. You're getting a good young player, and it's probably a little bit more sweeter because it's lottery protected and not top 20. So you've got a better chance of moving up the draft a little bit more. It's a pick in this year's draft, which you could also package with whatever pick. Like, let's say we drop down in the draft with our own pick. Let's say we pick 4th. You've got another pick in this year's draft that you could package to move up. Potentially, I don't know, whatever they could do much more. But first round pick and a young player. And you're also filling that role of a backup big moving into next season as well, that you can essentially replace Lopez or Bamba with. I mean, in this one, you've got Lopez going, but you've got Bamba's replacement there if they let him walk. So, I'm
absolutely.
happy with that.
That's what I actually like about that. You've got a replacement there for Bamba if we do let him go. Would you, out of interest, what would you do with Goran part of it? Would you buy Dragic out?
No, I'd suit him up in a Magic uniform to wind the Miami Heat fans up. Because apparently he's wearing Miami
just playing home games.
Yeah, basically. I know Dan Healy'd love that because I think he's still got a soft spot for Goran. No, let's be honest, we'll probably waive him, let him sign with a contender. But like you said, first round pick, lottery protected. It's pretty decent return. It'd be sad to see Rolo go. But Precious Achiuwa, he's big body. And I think he could do a job for us. So, decent return, I think that. And obviously Terence Ross gets to go back to the team he currently used to play for. And I don't know where they're in the standings, but I think they're in and around the play-in. So there's an opportunity there for him. So you're not sending him to, a bottom feeder. So, no, everyone's a winner.
And then we've got the, so that's clearly the one that we all like the most. But then there's also the rumours around the LA Lakers and sending Terence Ross there and getting in return Horton Tucker and their first round pick, wherever that may be. Instantly head shaking. And I know that we've been talking about this on the WhatsApp group today. But guys, what's your take on that? G, let's go to you first.
Taylor Horton Tucker If Taylor Horton-Tucker was on the Detroit Pistons, there'd be no talk about him getting traded, etc., him being the next big thing. The fact he's on the Los Angeles Lakers is the only reason he's being bigged up. For me, he signed a deal. I think he's got 3 years in and around 10, 11 million. Doesn't really help us that. I don't see what he can bring, to be perfectly honest. I probably haven't seen enough of him. So maybe I'm not doing him, giving him enough credit. But I wasn't sure what first round pick the Lakers could offer us. I didn't think they could offer anything until 2027. But for me, I'd steer clear from dealing with the devil in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, I know that you're, from what was being said earlier, you are not a fan of that one at all, and don't see what he brings to us.
I wouldn't say. I think he's a good player, but I just don't see where he fits in with what we're trying to build.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah,
no, it's cool. And he's got 2 years left. I think he's earning. I worked it out earlier. I think it was like 10 million next year, 11 million the year after. Do we really want to be locking up a guy who's not really going to be part of, I don't even want to say part of the future because he's still really young, but he's going to be a role player. Do you really want to be paying a role player 10, 11 million a year who's still fairly young? Like, I'd rather designate some of that money, like we've already talked about, and bring back Gary Harris, because he's going to help the young core develop and teach them the ropes and everything else. And I'm not sure. It just feels to me like the Lakers are trying to big up their trash, their rubbish players. That's like the players that have got a little bit of value that other teams might value. They're trying to drum that up because that's where all this noise is coming from. It's not coming from us. It's the Lakers trying to go. We've got Russell Westbrook, who we don't want. We've got Taylor Horton-Tucker. We've got a team full of pensioners, and we've got no other moves we can make other than trading, 2027 first round pick, which could actually be valuable, which if you think in 5 years' time, there's going to come a point where they're going to bottom out again, and that pick might actually bring back something in return. But for the short term, I just don't see why throwing another player into the mix like that really makes much sense for us. I'm not interested in trading with them. I think that they've already traded away anybody that had any great value to in getting Westbrook in the summer. I think they've already traded away an awful lot that you'd be interested in, and there's nothing left that I'm really wanting. And if you and you got to look at it from both sides of the view. I know we don't want to talk about the Lakers, but if you're the Lakers, what are they, 26 and 29? They're struggling. They got blown out by the Bucks the other night. Like, yes, they have to make moves if they want to secure a play-in spot and get into the postseason. But what are they going to do when they get there? Like, is trading those last couple of assets that have got a little bit of value, is that really going to move the needle that much for them? Or are they better off just seeing it out to the off-season and just playing it out? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Why would they give up another first-round pick to get something of a little bit of value? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So, question. Do we make a move? Do you think the Magic make a move? G?
Gosh, that's a tough one, isn't it? From what I've seen, I'm not a big fan of any of these massively. Problem I find is teams want to trade a player. There's a reason they want to trade a player. I think we want to, the guys we're looking to move, Ross, obviously, we could get him some opportunity for some sort of return. Gary Harris, I wouldn't trade at all. No way. Oh. And then obviously there's talk about Mo Bamba, but I don't know. It all depends what conversations the management's had with these players in terms of what their expectations are in the off season. If there's a chance we can bring them back, I bring them back. I let this roster, like what Bo's just said, we haven't seen the team in its entirety. So I'm not saying run it back, but unless there's something that blows my socks off, I probably wouldn't do anything other than maybe Terence Ross for one of those deals we kind of talked about earlier. I did pitch maybe Bagley from the Sacramento Kings, but everyone keeps shooting me down in flames with that one, saying Bagley's bad. But he's a dookie, and I think he plays basketball the right way. He just needs to straighten out his attitude for me. So if we got Bagley in return, I'd be happy, but we shall see.
Okay. Mikey, do we make a move?
Yes. Yeah. If okay. I'm going to repeat what I said last week. Well, you weren't here last week, Paul, but I'll say it again. That if Terence Ross is still on this roster gone tomorrow night, I will be gobsmacked.
Yep.
Terence Ross is gone. I still don't think Gary Harris is going to get traded. I still think he's going to get bought out.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's all down to Gary Harris. Is he happy to re-sign with us in the off-season and see out the next couple of years with a rebuilding team? Or does he want to go and win? Does he want to go and play for a playoff team? And the guy's 27, and I find it really, as much as I love Gary Harris, and he's really grown on all of us. And Paul was probably the biggest advocate of signing Gary Harris last year's trade. I just don't see any logic why he would want to stick at a rebuilding team other than maybe getting paid a little bit more to stick around for another year. But so I think Gary Harris is going to be here after the deadline, but I think he's going to get bought out because I think that 20 million deal is going to be too much for teams to absorb. And I think Bamba's going to be here after the deadline. But I don't think he's coming back next season. At the end of the day, I mean, G's on about like people like Bagley. I'm not sure. And Gary was like talking about this in our group earlier, that you got to look at this year's draft, which I haven't spent much time. I've watched the odd highlights, but you got Chet Holmgren, who's a centre, and you got Smith and Banchero, who are two fours. So signing somebody like Bagley to me doesn't make much sense because you're looking at the front court and you're going, well, you got Franz at the 3, you got Isaac coming back, you've already got Chuma, who could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Chuma got dealt in a deal for something by tomorrow. Him and Hampton are sort of on the fringe. I'm not saying get rid of them, but I just feel like they're not as. It sounds horrible. They're not as important as some of the other guys. They're further down the pecking order, aren't they? So to me, like you got Isaac Wagner, and Wendell as your front court 3. If you throw in a Banchero or Holmgren into that, then you want to give those guys as many minutes as possible. So, I think we're going to make a move. It's not going to be anything blockbuster. I think it's just going to be, like I said, getting something for Terence Ross, if we can get something for Harris, if he doesn't plan on coming back. And if a team blows us away, like the Sacramento Kings might give us De'Aaron Fox for Mo Bamba, then that's not happening. It can't happen. But if something presents itself where a team sort of blows us away for Bamba, then it's going to happen. But I just don't see his value being that high. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah. Well, we still keep playing Mo, don't we? We still keep playing him at the start.
Yeah, but his minutes are dropping. That's the problem.
His minutes, and that's exactly what I was going to say. His minutes are dropping. It's as if he gets a chance each game, and then we move Wendell into the position who's proving to be far more effective. Bring Chuma on at the 4, or whatever. I think if the right offer comes in for Mo, we take it. I think, like you guys, Terence Ross got left behind last year. He re-signed with a team that was in a different position to what halfway through the season last year he found himself in. That's absolutely no disrespect to the guy. He has been nothing but a superb advocate for our team. And wherever he goes, I wish him well. And I think it's only fair that we do find him somewhere that he has an opportunity to play. And I hope that's what we do. I'd love to see him continue to play in Magic Blue, whatever colour we're playing in that particular game, because I really do like the guy. But I do think, like you've said, G, he played his last game last night. I'd be very surprised if it's anything other. So they're kind of the two. I do think that we keep Gary Harris for the time being. I can see your point, Mike, entirely about the buyout. Yeah. But I do think we keep him unless, again, we can put something in there that brings a player back or a pick.
Who do we keep? Like who we move in forwards with? Because like I heard Philip Rossman writes of this. I completely agree. Whatever move and decisions the Magic make going forwards, it has to have a purpose. And to me, like, there's a small group of players there that everything we do has got to be focused on building around the core. Yep. So who would be the players that you would 100% keep, and who would you be happy
for me,
seeing?
I'm going with Cole, Jalen, Franz, and Wendell. And more than likely in there, you consider for anybody if it's the right offer, but Markel and JI are probably in there because we haven't seen them particularly with some of these guys. We only saw 6 or 7 games with Markel and Cole together. We've not seen them with Wendell. We've not seen them with Jalen. We've not seen them with Franz. So I don't think that they're going to be going anywhere either.
Yeah. I go, well, Markel first, obviously. Cole, Jalen, Franz. Mo Wagner I'd keep around just because I think he does a lot for, the fact he's there for his younger brother. Wendell, J.I., Chuma Kiki's another one. I don't move Chuma at all. RJ, I feel a little bit different about. If there's a deal there for him, it is what it is. I think we've got a lot of guards and people who can play that position. Trying to think if I've forgotten anybody now. Have I forgotten anyone notable?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, I've got a rough depth chart here that I jotted down earlier that I would think about moving into next season with, and it's Anthony, Suggs, Franz Wagner, Isaac, and Carter. And then you got Fultz, and then Fultz. Hampton, Okiki, and Mo Wagner would be on the periphery for me.
Yeah, Chuma's definitely on the periphery for me.
Because again, like if you get a Banchero or a Smith in the draft, he's either you're starting for or he's competing with Isaac at that point, and then you're trying to see what Isaac's got then. But
I think Okiki's this kind of player though you could just put in the position. He could probably guard a 2, 3, 4. He gets things done. He's very good at his defensive intensity, and his drive into the basket and cutting has got a lot better. He's shot the ball well recently.
He has.
I'm not gonna. I keep Chuma. I wouldn't trade Chuma. No way. Baby Kawhi, did we say last year?
Say again. The young Kawhi. Yeah. He's on the periphery for me. He's not a definite keep. He's on the periphery. So yeah. Cool. Interesting. Okay. So let's look at the predictions, shall we? Last week, the Magic went 1-2, beating Portland, losing to Memphis and Boston, as we've already mentioned. Gary and I went 1-2, so I have finally picked up another point. Props to Gary because he predicted it exactly right, though. He said we would beat Portland. I'd gone for Boston. I think perhaps my heart was rolling my head there, but there we go. Mikey Connell, you went 2-1. G, I was shocked when you went 0-3. I thought you said it the wrong way round at first.
My head went 0-3. My heart went 1-2. If you spool back and want to listen,
mate, I did.
It is what it is.
I'd watch.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So league-wise, Mikey still streaking ahead, just 7-7, and G, welcome to the wooden spoon position. Joint with me, 6 and 8.
Happy days.
What's it like to be a bottom feeder?
We'll see if we can get Mikey involved next week. If we both get it right this week.
So, week ahead, we have 4 games before we record again. We're recording this on Thursday, the 17th of February. I'll start again. That's the next episode, Thursday, the 17th of February. Today is the 9th. I'm all over the place. So we've got 4 games. Friday, or we'll do it as the UK time, Saturday, 2 a.m. So if you're watching this or listening to this stateside, subtract 5 hours. We play the Utah Jazz. We're in Salt Lake City. They are 4th in the West, 33 and 21. They've won the last 3. 18 and 10 at home. Rudy Gobert is out tonight, as is potentially Rudy Gay. He's doubtful. Joe Ingles is out for the season, but I think something's happened whilst we've been recording this.
He's got traded. He's been traded. Yeah.
The Jazz have acquired Nickel Alexander-Walker, and in a 3-team deal, and the Jazz just gave up 2 second-round picks for him. So it's a pretty decent deal, I think.
But his list has been out for the season anyway. And if you want to know when we last won in Salt Lake City, December 2015. So we've been on a bit of a losing streak with them. Sunday, 2 a.m., we play Phoenix at Phoenix. Top out of the West, best record in the NBA with 44 and 10. They've won 9 of the last 10, including the last 3, 22 and 5 at home. They do have 5 guys out injured at the moment: Landry Shamet, Frank Kaminsky, Dario Saric, Cameron Payne, and Abdul Nadar. We do have a decent record in Phoenix, though. So, and against Phoenix recently. Then Tuesday, 2 a.m. in Denver, meeting up with Aaron. They are 6th in the West, 40 and 24 record. They've won 7 of their last 10, including the last 2, 15 and 10 at home. Here we go. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Vladko Chanchar. Oh, see, I've even got it spelled out, Chanchar. Doesn't look right. I'm sorry. It's got how many bloody signs over the top. It's Vladko Chanchar. They're all long-term answers, and that's as good as it's going to get. Austin Rivers is also currently out, but he could be back by the time we play them. We beat them in December, and that ended a 10-game losing streak. We last won in Denver in December of 2015 also. And then finally, last game of the week, we are back home to play Atlanta, who, considering they are last year's beaten Eastern Conference finalists, surprisingly, are still only 10th in the East, 26 and 28 record, but they've won 7 of the last 10. But 10 and 16 on the road. At present, only Lou Williams is out with a hamstring issue. It'll be the final meeting of the season where we are 1 and 2 down, but we did win the last game, and that was in Atlanta. So that takes us to All-Star Weekend. Predictions, boys. So let's go with G.
0-4.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. We've beaten Denver, we've beaten Utah, and I think they want to get their revenge. Phoenix, obviously, best team in the league. That's going to be tough. Atlanta might be one we can nick, but yeah, these West Coast trips are never fun, are they? Let's be honest. So yeah, let's get that locked in. 0-4, unfortunately, and that's head and heart and foot. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. I'm surprised at that. I was expecting a 1-3. To be fair. There we go.
Yeah.
Mikey, what are you going with?
Exactly the same. 0-4. I'm not going to repeat what G just said.
He just wants to be. He still wants to be first, doesn't he? That's
genuinely. As soon as Paul was like, "Oh, who shall I choose?" I was just rating to go 0-4. Like, I just don't see anything else this week. Like, you're playing 3 really good teams out west, and then you play the Hawks, who are playing really well as soon as you get back off that West Coast trip. So I don't see anything else other than 0-4 this week. And you think we had, 4 wins out of 6 games, and we were feeling good. And I was like, we're going to beat the Grizzlies. And then we got absolutely mullered.
Yeah, we did have a chuckle about that, didn't we, Paul?
Yes.
So
I want to know what drugs you've been on. I want to know how much you've been snorted before we came on air.
Mate, just 4 wins out of 6. That's what did it. And then you get this unrealistic expectation and this hope that soon disappears again. So no, I just feel like, I wouldn't say it was a blip that we had, but obviously it was good to have some wins on the board. But yeah. I think we're going to come back down to earth, especially with the trade deadline. There might be a few games where we're missing 1 or 2 players if they get moved. So we shall see. But yeah, 0-4 this week.
Ditto. Write the league up. No need to mention this next time we do. 0-4. Sorry, I just don't see anything else.
Well, should we have a tiebreaker on this then? Which game will we lose the most by? Because this isn't going to move the needle at all, is it?
The closest game is going to be Atlanta. I think that's going to be the closest game. And I tend to feel that we can give Denver a bit of a run as well.
The Phoenix game will be the worst game.
Yeah, I think we could get mullered by Phoenix. But to be fair, this season we've competed in pretty much every game. Even games where we've ended up losing by 20, 25 points. There have been long periods where we've competed. So I'm not convinced that we're going to get absolutely destroyed by any of them. But if there's one that's going to be hard to watch, it could be the Phoenix game.
I think we should change the tiebreaker.
Go on.
Well, there's games where you get blown out, and then and then when you look at the final box score, it's like, oh, you lost by 10. So why don't we go with which Magic player is going to finish with the highest points in a game this week?
Suits me.
So I'm going to go Franz.
Okay.
What, overall on average over the 4 games?
No. He's going to put up the most points out of any player this week in those 4 games.
So average across the 4 games?
No, sorry. 1 game.
In one game,
he's say 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I'm with you. Right, I got to do something different then, haven't I? Would you said Cole, did you?
No, I said Franz.
Okay, I'll go Cole.
Well, I'm really pleased I'm going last.
Stitched you up,
guys.
Let's go with me, Paul. Go with me.
I want a different tiebreaker. I want to go with blocks. Okay. I'm going to go then with.
You can do the same as us if you want.
No, man. If I want my bottom position back, so I'm going to go with. You know what? Just
Deacus.
No, mate. No, I'm actually going to have a stab at. Go with Jalen.
Yeah.
Jalen.
Okay. Jalen, Franz, or Cole?
Having been well and truly stitched up on the predictions there and the tiebreaker, thanks, lads. Just want to say to everybody, thanks as always for listening and watching. Mikey, G, thanks for your company. It's been quality as always, guys. Love doing this. Please subscribe to the podcast. Hit the notification button so as not to miss any future episodes. Make sure you visit the website, orlandomagic.uk.com. For the latest news, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and... Have I missed one? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. TikTok, and Twitter. I thought I said Twitter. All are at Orlando Magic UK, and all the links are also featured in the podcast description. So until next time, from Mikey, Garant, myself, go Magic.